If you're involved in the real estate market here in Austin, Texas, more nationally, or even in the world, it's important that you have a good understanding of the characteristics of not only your property, but the surrounding properties in the area so that we can best understand the value, the future use, any potential issues if we purchase the property, or potential issues that we can purchase with the property at a lower cost, fix, and then add value to the property for future sale. All of these things are important, and these are the sort of things that we study for our clients and for ourselves when we're considering an investment, but also when we're considering a property as a homestead. So regardless of the type of property, these are things that we look for, and I want to show you how we do it. So here in Austin, we use a site called the Austin GIS Map, and it's through the city. And we can go in and discover the property profile and the details around the property, including everything from zoning, drainage, infrastructure, characteristics, where existing easements are, anything that relates to the property that's recorded and publicly available, pretty much we can find here. Now, this won't include the details of a title commitment or a title policy, but it gives us a really good head start. So I've taken a few minutes. We put together a tutorial on how to access this site, how to navigate through it, identify the areas you want, and to learn a little bit more about your own property, an area you're considering investing in, or a property that you're interested in selling, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about City of Austin. This is a great place to do it. So check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. We're happy to do this for you. If it raises some interest on your end, we're happy to help you along the way. So if you don't have this bookmarked already, you can go to your search engine and search Austin GIS Map. It will take you to a bunch of results. If you hit the GIS one from the austin.gov, it'll bring you to the GIS Maps page and hit Property Profile. This site is managed by the city, and it gives a ton of information if you're interested in researching areas you're considering for investment, more about your property, existing easements, that sort of thing. So here we have a fairly tight view of Austin. We see where the ETJ is. We see full purpose. We see further out ETJ. Here's the airport. So it's got a lot of designations off the bat on what's what. You can do an address search for a specific property, parcel search, look for review cases, permits by an address, right-of-way permits. What a good starting spot if you're looking just for general information is to change the visible layers. On a lot of these, you're going to need to zoom in a little bit more, so we'll do that, and we'll just pick East Austin as a basis. It's got a ton of variables here, which you can select to find out what you like about a property. You can click this and it's going to populate with all the streets in the area. Easement lines, which are great if you're interested in seeing if there's any easements on a property. These would show up on a title commitment. So for instance, all these green ones are typically utility right-of-ways. Purple one is a designated one. Red ones have been released, but you can dig in more to that as needed. But that's a great way to see if there's anything existing on your property, a recorded easement, or one that a property that you're considering. If you want to get a good idea of where the lot lines will be, may need to zoom in a little bit. So this tells you the neighborhoods, the streets, and then as you get closer, it will fill in the lot lines. So here are the lot lines. Now, if you were to pull the satellite imagery in, they won't necessarily line up exactly, but it will give you a very good idea of any sort of potential issues you may have or want to look into, where you can find out how a lot has been divided. Now, this is interesting. You've got a satellite image of a lot with a house. You have a lot line going right through it. So that means something has gone on there. This lot was subdivided. And I bet if we were to dig in more, we'd find that all three of these are probably, or these two are owned by one owner, these are owned by another owner, or they're all owned by the same owner. Just an example, we're not going to dig into that here. If you're interested in seeing what permits are in an area, you can click on the permits, hit building permits, and everything will pop up. Now we have active or yellow, expired or red, final or green, void or brown, and so forth. So this is a really good way to look at activity in your area or an area that you are considering. And you can even see what's coming. So I tend to uncheck them as I go because they will pile up on me, all the dots. Active demo permits are in yellow. So there's one here at Linden and Stokes, basically. These green ones are final. Red is expired. Brown is void, and so forth. So that's a great way to have an idea of what's happening in your area. Building footprints. This is just an interesting thing to see. And if you want to have an idea of an impervious cover of an existing property, you can click on the impervious cover button and it's going to show you where any sort of recorded impervious cover is. If you unclick it, it takes it away. So you have all the driveways, decks, concrete patios, that sort of thing. And then you can also get an idea of the contours in the area and what kind of land you're looking at there. If you're interested in the infrastructure and what sort of drainage is there or outlets nearby, you can go under the infrastructure and drainage. I like to look for drainage pipes. So the green area are where recorded drainage pipes are. And the reason I'll look for this is because I had listed a property one time and the recording, the location of the drainage pipe was incorrect and it had it going through the middle of the property. And that was not the case. So I had to go to the city and have them rectify that before we could sell the home. So I like to look at that ahead of time now. But it's just a good idea to see where everything is. And if there's anything that you have a specific concern about, drainage or infrastructure wise, this is a good place to look and to start. And then one thing a lot of people are interested in before buying a home or when considering selling it, because it does affect the value, is the zoning. So you can click on the zoning and this will give you the different colors and the designations. And then if you hit zoning text, it will fill it in with the code for the type of zoning it is. SF3 is a zoning with some flexibility in terms of ADUs and duplexes. NP means neighborhood plan. You need to dig in a little bit more, and we do that for our clients to find out exactly what that means. We've got some commercial going in here, high density multifamily there with MF5. And then a really interesting one that holds a lot of value, and a good example of it is this section. The brown is a zoning specific to higher density. The city is created, or the state's created, for transportation oriented development, TOD. And this allows for higher build heights, more density, that sort of thing, so that they can create a more central hub for transportation and urban style living. Now this area has the new Target, Whole Foods, all that. It's got a train going through it. And it's a really good example of seeing how that zoning is put into effect. And it definitely affects the value of the property, typically in a positive way. So there you go. That's a quick overview. If you want to know more, reach out. I'd be happy to help you sort this out for your own property or otherwise. Thanks.